No, that's good.
But
Okay.
before, I know we wanted to wrap up, but I
Yeah.
have some of my, like, I absolutely, especially to your audience, the mistakes that I see people make because they just don't know any better. Um, Adding kids to bank accounts, because we're talking about who gets to access the bank account, the power of attorney, the trustee, whatever. What if I just put my kid on my bank account? I trust my oldest son, or I trust my middle daughter,
Mm-mm.
she's responsible. She's not going to mismanage it. And when I pass away, she'll spread it out with the siblings. That's so common. And because people are worried, well, if nobody else is on the account with me and I pass away, they have to wait for a death certificate. And in
Mm.
the meantime, all those funds are frozen and nobody can pay for my funeral and things like that. So again, I give different advice for those kinds of scenarios, but people don't realize if you put a child on a bank account with you and they're a joint owner,
Mhm.
their creditors have access to your account.
Mhm.
Even though it's your account, you put every penny in there. Your child didn't put in a penny. It's not their money, right? But on paper, you just made it their money.
That's a
So,
good point. Yeah.
I mean, people really don't think about the creditor situation, the potential creditor risk, which is avoidable with the power of attorney and it's avoidable when you set it up in this other way.
Mhm.
Sure, the downside is the waiting factor, maybe, but you balance that out, or you set up a separate small account with that child
Mhm.
for that purpose. You don't have them on your $100,000 savings account that is meant
Mhm.
to split between your kids. Also, because let's say there are no creditors, you pass away, that child gets that account. It's not, okay, we'll just split it three ways and that means nothing for taxes. They're making taxable gifts potentially, which with the, with the exemptions and things like that, maybe no
Mhm.
taxes owed, but it just makes it more complicated than I think people ever consider when they do something like that. Same with houses. So
Yeah.
another way where they're like, I don't want to deal with a trust. I don't want to deal with probate. I'm just going to add my kids to my house when I'm 80. But, if I'm starting to think I'm going down the dementia road, I'm going to add them to my house so that when I die, they'll just own it.
Mhm.
And people never think about the capital gains part
Mhm.
of that, And so
Yeah.
it's just all of these things, consult with a professional because what you're doing might work to solve the problem you see, but you don't see the problems you've just created or the other just factors that will make that maybe not the best outcome.
Oh, I'm so happy you brought that up because in the back of my mind, I wanted to bring that up and talk about it, but I was like, oh, I don't want to. But the gifting of the house
Oh,
or the naming, I think I hear that question so often is I'm gonna put my child's name on the house or put so and so on the name of the house. And yeah, there's just so much. I don't want to go down it, but the step up in basis and the taxes around it,
yeah.
there's definitely more options and a lot of times better options than going down that road.
Yeah, like you think you're saving in probate or trust fees, but the capital gains is going to be
Hmm.
20 times that,
Right.
which again, we don't have to talk about, but
Oh yeah.
just to point out, like those are the two kids on bank accounts, kids on houses, just not always the best or can cause more problems than they're solving.
The opinions and statements presented on this show are for general information only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations. Never make any investment or financial decisions based on information offered on this show without first consulting your financial, legal, or tax advisor. All economic and performance information mentioned on the show is historical in nature and is not indicative of any future results. All indices mentioned on this show are unmanaged and cannot be invested in directly. All information is believed to be from reliable sources. However, we make no representation as to its completeness or accuracy. Lastly, all opinions expressed by Jason Cutitta and any guests on the show are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinions of or are endorsed by ToBA Financial. For Jason Cutitta, investment advisory services are offered through ToBA Financial LLC, a registered investment advisor offering advisory services in the state of Hawaii and in other jurisdictions where exempt from registration.